Have you ever had that one coworker that just kind of gets under your skin and makes you want to go on a murderous rampage? I think that's what we're talking about tonight. I'm Drone. To my right, I have DJ.
Whoop.
To my left, I have Soaring.
Whoop.
To my far left, I have Kaboom.
I have lots to say about this topic.
On my shoulder, I have Kyraeus. I don't know if you have much to say, to be honest.
No. Okay.
And then on my other shoulder, I have Doc, who's half asleep.
Moan if you're conscious.
He's conscious. Cool. All right. So, I guess who wants to start this one?
The one who had a lot to say about the topic. Start.
Okay, so literally like a day and a half ago, I get into work to retrain the new guy that we got to replace this other guy who didn't even show up for work that replaced a different guy who had to take care of his mom who was dying. So.
Well, that's a hell of a line right there.
Right.
Replace the guy who replaced the guy who replaced the guy who replaced me.
Essentially.
True.
I'm going to call this guy Dickweed because he's an asshat. I thought he was pretty cool at first. The first day I actually got to work with him, he was doing all right. He knew where most things went just by looking. And then suddenly he couldn't show up to work because he found out that his grandma died, and then he had to go to the funeral. And then he was off for like 4 or 5 days. And I was like, a funeral doesn't take that long.
He just has a long grievance period.
And then he shows up in the morning that he was supposed to come back. It was his first morning working alone. And I got into work at 3 o'clock. And it looked like he didn't know what to do. Like, there was shit everywhere. And I was like, oh, okay, well, he might have been rushed. I mean, this is his first time working alone after, his grandmother's death or whatnot. And then I went to train him the next night. And I was walking through things that, refresh his memory. And then he was like, I'm going to go to the bathroom. Is that okay? And I was like, yeah, man, go. And while we slow. And another coworker, leaves, a couple minutes later. Then he walks back and he was like, where's the new guy? And I was like, he's just in the bathroom. And he was like, no, he's not. Come look at this. There's a note pinned right where the schedules are. And written on a paper towel from the bathroom saying, thanks for the opportunity. I don't have a phone anymore. Please mail me the check. We had 120 people that night, and I was working by myself. He just outright ditched me.
Wow.
And I'm pretty nice. I mean, he seemed like...
And I want to just point out that he works at a fairly high-end restaurant. They have coursed meals
and
with
it's not
many
a hard job.
dishes.
They look very delicious.
They are very delicious.
They are pretty delicious.
2 people that are on it can easily do that job.
Mm.
I mean, Soren worked there for a moment,
Yeah.
and
To be fair, I thought I was getting another job.
yeah. To be fair, he thought he was getting another job. I mean,
A better job.
but
Probably something better paying.
$11 now.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
but if I ever see that guy again, I might just deck him in the face.
Okay.
Or mentally do it.
DJ Drone, you want to go?
Yeah. Let's do this. We're about to take up a lot of time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I guess I'll start this because I was working there first. We used to work in the same automotive
A place that does oil changes.
A place that does oil changes. Thank you. We used to work in the same automotive shop. And our boss is kind of a dick. And whenever I say kind of, I mean he's the kind of person that walks in whenever you're doing your job, but you might be off by just a hair, right? Even that, he would walk in and go, "You're not doing your fucking job right. If you're not going to do your fucking job right, then fuck off."
Can I point out something?
He doesn't do it.
His neck is thicker than Thunderbird's.
Yeah, he has a really thick neck. It's a pretty big guy.
By thick neck, we're talking his neck is the same thickness as his head. He has a rectangle head, okay?
It's true.
He has
Okay.
a rectangle head. It's no neck.
Speak to the YouTube community. Thunderfoot has a thick neck. Bob's do.
Yeah, I mean, his nickname was No Neck. He is a big guy. The first thing I would like to point out is that,
He's hefty.
he and I've known him for, like 6 or 7 years, and I worked for him for 4 of those, and he is a very odd individual because there are some days where he comes in and he is a very nice person. He's very happy.
Oh, yeah.
And then there are days where he just comes in and the first thing that happens is he goes, "If you're not going to do your fucking job, then get out."
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, "Whoa, dude.
Yeah,
I haven't even had enough time to wake up yet."
Okay, we used to know him pretty well, right?
Right,
Because I used to basically live in your house, and you know,
yeah, it's true.
I mean, I babysat his 2 daughters for like a little while, and he seemed like a really nice guy. He gave me
Right.
money that I didn't expect.
Well, like, outside of work, he's a
Outside of
completely
work,
different person.
Yeah, he's a completely different person outside of work. If you get to know his outside of work personality, yeah, he's a cool guy to hang out
Oh,
with.
yeah, he's great.
But
I
in
love him.
work
I mean,
setting,
he's still
a
a good
fucking
friend.
nightmare.
Yeah, and the first thing that he says is he goes, "Outside of work, I am a nice guy. I'm not going to be mean to you. I'm just going to be, I'm going to try and be a normal guy." But in work, and he makes this very clear, he goes, "In work, I am a dick. I'm an anal retentive prick." That is his words, not mine.
Yeah.
Right? And to explain this, one of my other coworkers before you
Yeah.
came along, DJ, was an assistant manager who titled him as an extra large bag o' dicks. And that's really, really hard to get to. Like,
What did your mom call him?
my mom called him by his name, and any time that she did call him by his name whenever he was being a dick, she didn't say his name. She said his full name, as if a mother was doing it, and went, "I'm going to warn you once," and he goes, "I'm going to go do paperwork." Because the funny thing is that my mom is like 5'2" or 3, and she's not a big person. But the thing is that he knows that my mom can kick his ass, which is hilarious.
Oh, especially now, because he's fucking injured.
Yeah. Now the other thing is that, as I haven't pressed any charges. I don't want to deface his name. I have been hit by this individual as well. And usually he was doing it as a friendly thing, playing around, right? Which I could see if you're outside of work. But at work, it's not appropriate. Well, the other thing is that, as we've explained, he is a very large individual. He is a very powerful individual. And it was funny to me whenever he hit me, because he once hit me in the chest and thought I was going to, just drop down and stop breathing. And I just looked at him and I went, "That was pretty good." And he goes, "Holy shit, how are you still standing?" Right? And I was like, "Holy shit, why are you doing this at work?" At which point he backed off and left me alone for the rest of the day. But all of my encounters with him, because he likes to belittle other men.
Mm-hmm.
No,
And-
other people. Less.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I will explain why I'm saying that specifically. And the reason why he belittles other men, right, is because he wants to be the most powerful man in his store, because he's the manager. He wants to be, but he doesn't convey power in the way that you should in a workplace. He conveys it by fear tactics and things like this. But the other thing is that, as an individual, right, he may try and convey these things, but he has a problem with two things. First off, he has a problem conveying that kind of influential power over female workers that are independent. If it's somebody that just outright does not give 2 fucks about what he thinks, and they say something, he doesn't have an argument. He will not even try, because he'll go, "Well, shit, I'm not going to win this battle," and he kind of backs away and doesn't say anything else, and it's really weird. But the other thing is that the biggest problem was he always had problems with people that weren't white. And that's something I want to point out, and I don't know if you've seen this.
Oh, I have.
He has a problem with people, and he, as far as I've seen, he won't hire somebody Muslim at all. Like, if he sees a name that he doesn't like, it seems foreign, he won't hire them. He just skips over them, right? I've made his boss aware of this, and he didn't listen to me. The biggest one is he does hire individuals that are of African American descent, and he continuously says, "I have many black friends, and I'm not racist." But the problem is that I've never seen a single black friend of his. The only African American friend that I've seen of his is literally a white guy that was born on an army base in Africa, which makes him an African American. Literally, he has dual citizenship. But if it's an individual that is African American, he has a lot of issues with these individuals, and those are the only people that I've seen he doesn't really back down from, unless the person starts saying, "Well, this is starting to look really, really bad on you, it's starting to look racist." Then he'll back off and be like, "I'm not racist." But it seems kind of suspicious. You know what I mean? Like, you understand.
Yeah.
Do you have anything you want to say?
In terms of, since we're currently slightly on the prejudice topic of coworker/manager, old coworker/manager of
Right.
Drone, my current one, hopefully not for much longer, is, in terms of prejudice, not just racial, but also, doesn't like to come across as, orientation-wise. But I'm pretty sure that he is a little freaked out by shit like that.
Yeah,
Now that he has 2 employees, that, are very much part of the LGBT community, it's really difficult. Seems like he's walking on eggshells all the time when he talks to us.
right.
He doesn't know what to say, because he immediately thinks that he's going to instantly offend us.
Right,
Which is fine to an extent, but I need him to just talk.
Right, because the thing is like, you're not offended. Like, whenever somebody goes, and yes, I'm going to say this, whenever somebody walks up to you and goes, instead of saying, like, "Hey, man," or, if a stranger walked up and was like, "Ben, don't you feel bad as a woman?" And you're like, "Not really." You're just like, "Whatever, I don't even care how you feel." And you understand that people might not understand exactly what's going on, and that people might not exactly accept that. People might be hateful, and I mean, as far as that goes, like, we can definitely talk about that too.
Yeah.
Later in a different episode, but I see what you're getting at, where it's kind of like, okay, he's going, "How do I say something without offending?" And it's like, "So do I call you by this, or do I call you by this?" And it's like, well, I don't really care. We're in a professional setting. This is what's on my name tag. This or this is what's on my name tag. That's what I'm going to be called by. I don't care. And as far as a professional setting goes, you want to be professional, but then it starts getting weird whenever he calls you by a different name, and then all the people are like, "What the fuck is he talking about?"
It's like a good weird.
Right.
Because he's trying, obviously, but it's weird to hear it from him because he's obviously freaked out by me.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think to be honest, and we actually, real quick, I'm going to cover another coworker that we had together, who was our assistant manager at the same time. He was one of the greatest people I know, but he is like the biggest drunk I know too.
Oh yeah.
He's this redneck guy, and for the sake of the video, I'm just going to call him Forrest.
Yeah.
Okay, Forrest is a great guy, and
funny guy.
he's hilarious.
Great to
But
get along with.
the first thing I said, he kept making these jokes because I would give DJ a ride home after work. So he made a joke about me cheating on my fiance with DJ, and I was like, "Well, I'm not DJ's type." And he goes, "What do you mean?" And I was like, "I'm not DJ's type." And he goes, "Why aren't you DJ's type?" And I was like, "Well, DJ likes innies, not outies. And he goes,
Exact words, by the way, people.
and he goes,
Oh.
wait, and then just looks across and screams across the store and goes, "You're a lesbian?" And DJ goes, "No, actually, I'm transgender, thank you."
And he's like, "Ah."
and then DJ goes, "I actually want to have an outie because I like those with innies." And he goes, "Oh,
And
that's
all
weird."
day that was him. It was a really funny day, actually.
It was great. Like, and he didn't understand, but he didn't try and make it overly offensive, which I thought was kind of cool. Like, he was trying to accept it, but he's raised Catholic and is also just this old redneck that's like, I don't brain that.
I don't brain that entirely.
My brain does not brain that well. And
That's just with many things. So many fucking things.
Okay, guys, I think that we've talked about this particular topic long enough. Unless you would like to talk about
Yeah,
that.
I have something to talk about.
Oh shit, you haven't gone yet! Go, dude, go!
This entire time. Okay, so
Shit, we've been going for like 10 minutes.
I got a
5 or
short.
6
I have two. One, I was working at a place that manufactured steering wheels for Ford vehicles, and we had to work on a factory line with other people.
Go with this one. Go ahead.
Is it the Christian guy or the Okay, yeah. So I am not. I'm an atheist, and he just didn't understand what atheism was.
Hold on. I would like to point
Like,
something
he's
out.
in the country.
All the atheists in the room, raise your hand. Now realize that we're not on camera.
Yeah.
Here. Take roll call.
Yeah.
There
So
you go.
he doesn't understand. He's out in the country, and he doesn't understand. He walks to work in a town with a population of 200.
Yeah.
Right.
There's one major building in town, or two major buildings in town.
And
One is a
one
post office,
factory.
and the other is a church.
The other is a factory.
Oh, the third one is a church.
And so
That literally
he just
everyone in
doesn't
town does.
understand. He was trying to understand what atheism was. He's like, "What? Do you like worship the devil or something?" And I'm like, "No." Okay, so I explained to him. He's like,
That's
"Well, why? Well, why? What is it about the Bible that you don't like?" And I said I would give him a list of Bible verses, right, that he can brush up on. And so I handed him the list. And after I handed him the list, the next day, he didn't speak to me at all. He had no communication with me whatsoever. And then about a week later, he's just like, "That was fucked up." And then it was fine after that.
and
He
here's
never
the
addressed
wait.
religion again.
I would like to point this out, that the worst part of this is that not only did Soren give him Bible verses, but he gave him Bible verses from memory. Specific verses that he needed to go look at.
No, I wrote them down.
Right, I know.
From memory.
From memory.
No, I wrote it down. I wrote down the verses. I didn't write down the actual contents of the verses. Only the verses' locations.
Right, no, I know. You wrote
I
down
didn't write them from memory.
like John 7.
I didn't write them from memory. I don't have.
Oh,
memories.
really?
Fuck no.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought
I'm
you
not
did.
that into the Bible anymore. And so anyway, another coworker I had, and it's kind of like this ancillary thing. I was working for a telecommunications company, and it was a desk job, and it was a really good desk job, and I'm very sad to have lost it. Anyhow, I had a coworker. I'm gonna call her now Naomi because that's the easiest to pronounce name that's close to hers.
Okay.
It's not Naomi. It's much longer, and well, she's African. She's an African American, right? But in the purest sense that she is from Zimbabwe.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
Right, and so she has this awesome thick accent. It's just so unique. I knew her really well, and she was so nice. She's like 5'2", maybe like 95 pounds, small woman, right?
I have to ask, because I know it's important. Was she?
She's like,
Since you said she was from Zimbabwe, I'm very curious about this. Was she tribal religions? Was she Muslim or was she Christian?
she was an atheist.
Really?
Yes.
That's interesting.
And that's because in her household, right, It's just that she obviously came from a tribal religious area.
Okay.
Right? But, because she came to America, right? She's in Americanized... All she sees is churches, right? She doesn't understand,
Right.
everybody else is like, oh, God, this, God, this, God, this. And because we're in this workplace, everybody else is religious except for me and her and one other girl named Angel, right? Who we communicated a lot. We had our own little chat room for, like, atheists. And so she was in there, and we would talk, and so I knew I had a good professional relationship with her. I talked to her. I got to know her really well. The punchline here is that I work through a temp agency, and the temp agency is of course hiring people for work and all this, right?
Right.
She was there not because she needed to make money for her household. Oh no! She was making personal spending money for herself so that she could open a business on the side of whatever she was doing. Her husband, because she's like 35.
Right.
Her husband is an engineer for Lockheed Martin and designs fighter aircraft for a living and fighter aircraft engines. He gets paid, and I seen his check stub because she showed me. Because I said, there's no way, right? Her husband's check stub for the quarter was $2.6 million.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't need to be here, but I am here for myself because because she had all of her children, right? Because she had her children when she was 15.
Right.
Right? All of her children are in college. Getting paid for in college, out of state in college, out of country in college. She has like 4 kids, right? And the thing is, like, she has nothing to do, so she decided to work at a temp agency. And I'm like, what? You don't need to be here.
Right. Lockheed Martin, that guy's making like $9.2 million a year.
So she's like, I have
and actually,
I have
right
a
now,
husband who cares about me a lot. We travel around the world every weekend.
That was like
crazy.
That's been about a year, 2 years ago. So he's actually probably making closer to like 11.3 now, because they get crazy raises there too.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
and
they're gonna. Oh, okay, so they're shelling out for him per year of what a plane he designs is worth.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not like because they have military contracts. He's designing these.
But the difference is that like the planes that he's making are actually replaceable. His brain is not.
Exactly.
That's what's important there, is that his brain is not replaceable. He is one of like
he is an investment.
He is one of 14 or 15 engineers that work on their crew to design these things, and with as much as he's making, he's either co-head or head designer. I mean,
whatever project
they're working on.
That part of the year.
That part of the year, and he is just, that he's making that much because his brain is that important.
Because she'd bring food in, right, from like Biaggi's every day. Like, and you know what I mean.
Right. Yeah. Like,
that's insane. It's just, this is just my lunch.
Right. Like this. The funny thing is that guy has so much disposable wealth that if he gave us 10% of what he makes in a year, we could be perfectly fine.
And he wouldn't notice because she was making complaints. Like, I love my husband a lot, but unfortunately, he tries to give me money at every opportunity.
Right.
He doesn't want her to work. He doesn't want, because he's like, I make enough, you don't have to do this. I work this job so that our family can be fine, right?
Right. And he's
like, the appreciative rebel that she is, decides to get out of the house.
And work.
Oh, boy. It's just so weird. That whole concept is completely foreign. I understand wanting to work on a project, but actually go to a day job? Right? You don't need to do that. You can work from home. You have so much disposable income. You could throw money at a project.
Right, but the difference is that...
Throw money at a lot of things.
But here's the thing. If she wants to open a business, she can just pull $5,000 out of the bank account. She doesn't have to work for half a year to do that.
The thing that she's doing, right, what she's going for is that she wants to be self-made, and she does it. And she doesn't want to use that disposable income that he has
I understand.
to do it.
It's more like a it's like a game you want to load a new file on, rather than like
Right.
life.
It's kind of like
she's not living life. She's living a game.
it's kind of like whenever you play a Metal Gear game for the first time, you're like, after the first time you play a Metal Gear game, you're like, do I really want to use all the shit that I had last time, or do I
Right.
want to start a new game and see if I can do better this time? And
Right. But
yeah,
it's
and
just
find all the Easter eggs and shit like that.
just those two anecdotal things. That's all I really wanted to point.
All right, I have one more that I'm going to talk about, and that's because you brought up the guy that was wondering about atheism. I have two guys at work, both of them are Muslim, and we were talking one day, and neither one of them understand like what being atheist is. So I was trying to explain it to them, and then they were like, "So what do you believe in?" And I was like, "Well, I believe in science." And they both laughed at me and go, "So you believe in lies?" And I went, "That's strange, because that's exactly how I think."
Uh-huh.
And they stopped and like stared at me. I was like, "See, we have the same opinion of each other, but we can get along because we're accepting of the fact that we both believe that the other person believes in lies." And they went, the one guy who's from Africa, he's from East Africa somewhere.
Yeah.
He goes, "I never thought of it that way," and just walks away. And the other guy goes, and like waves me off, and he's like, "Science is a lie," and walks away.
Right.
I was like, okay, you can believe that. It's fine. You know, like, if you don't believe in science, you believe that the Earth's been around for 10,000 years and it was created in a single instant. Fine. Believe that. That's fine. I don't care. But that was my last story. Thank you guys for watching. I have been Drone. Over here has been that guy and that guy and that
And-
guy.
Blah, 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 blah.
Buttons. You know the drill. You've been here
Down
long
there.
enough.
Yeah, trolls, do your thing.
Stuff.
Bridge trolls. Do leave comments. We want to know where you are. We want to hang out.
we only like bridge trolls, though. The guys that live under bridges and have green skin.
I don't know that they can be coppos too.
Kappas are awesome, but they can split me in half.
Not unless if you make them bow, you're fine.
Did
It's
somebody
true.
Did somebody smash the compass?
Thank you for watching. Good night.